Stop drinking water right now. I'm dead serious. That glass of water sitting next to you? It might be the very reason your prayers aren't being answered and your energy feels completely drained. You think I've lost my mind, don't you? Here's the thing, for over 70 years, we've been told that staying hydrated is the key to health and vitality. But what if I told you that the way you're drinking water is actually lowering your spiritual vibration and blocking your manifestations? Dr. Masaru Emoto's groundbreaking research showed us something that completely shattered everything we thought we knew about this simple, everyday act. While you're busy chasing success, scrolling through social media, or trying to manifest your dream life, there are invisible energy vampires sucking the spiritual vitality right out of your consciousness expansion journey. And here's the kicker, you're probably feeding them yourself, starting with your very first sip of water each morning. I used to think I was doing everything right on my spiritual journey. I was meditating, reading Neville Goddard, practicing gratitude, working on my prosperity mindset. But something was off. My energy felt heavy, my vibration was low, and my manifestations were either slow or completely backwards. Sound familiar? Then I discovered something that changed everything, something that quantum physics has been trying to tell us for decades, but we've been too distracted to listen. What if I told you that the reason your energy feels scattered, your abundance seems blocked, and your connection to your higher self feels distant isn't because you're not spiritual enough? What if the real culprit is something so simple, so obvious, that it's hiding in plain sight? We're talking about 3 specific energy disruptors that are literally rewiring your nervous system, lowering your frequency, and keeping you stuck in old patterns even when you're doing all the right spiritual practices. The truth is, your divine spark is always there, always ready to co-create with the universe. But these 3 energy killers are like having static interference on your spiritual radio. You might catch glimpses of your higher self, moments of clarity, brief experiences of that elevated consciousness you're seeking, but then something pulls you back down. And here's what's really wild, most spiritual teachers won't talk about this stuff because it's not as glamorous as talking about manifestation techniques or energy healing. But here's the thing, I've spent years studying this, working with thousands of people on their spiritual evolution, and I've seen the same pattern over and over. The people who experience the most dramatic shifts in their energy, the ones who seem to effortlessly raise their vibration and create their reality, they all have one thing in common: they've eliminated these 3 specific energy drains from their lives. Not reduced them, eliminated them. So if you're tired of feeling like you're swimming upstream in your spiritual journey, if you're ready to stop sabotaging your own energy without even knowing it, and if you want to finally experience that consistent high vibe state that makes manifestation feel effortless, then you're in the right place. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't just theory. This is practical, actionable wisdom that you can start applying today to transform your entire energetic experience. Ready to discover what's really been holding back your spiritual energy? Let's dive in. You know, there's something most folks don't realize about the words floating around in their heads all day long. Every single thought you think, every word you whisper to yourself, every internal conversation you have, it's all creating your reality through quantum physics principles that would blow your mind. Dr. Masaru Emoto's groundbreaking research showed us how water molecules actually change their structure based on the words and emotions directed at them. Since your body is roughly 60% water, imagine what your constant internal chatter is doing to your cellular structure right now. When you're walking around thinking I'm broke, I'm not good enough, or nothing ever works out for me, you're literally programming your divine spark to create exactly that reality. This isn't just positive thinking fluff, this is about understanding that your consciousness expansion begins with recognizing the creative power of your inner dialogue. The universe responds to the vibration of your thoughts like a cosmic echo chamber, amplifying whatever energy you're consistently broadcasting. Most people think they're just thinking thoughts, but what they're actually doing is practicing a form of creation that rivals any spiritual practice on earth. Joseph Murphy, in his masterpiece The Power of the Subconscious Mind, demonstrated through countless case studies how our subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. When you repeatedly tell yourself "I can't afford this" or "I'm always unlucky," your higher self takes those words as direct instructions for your spiritual journey. It's like having a genie that grants every wish, but most folks are unknowingly wishing for their worst fears to come true. The energy you put behind your words creates a vibrational frequency that attracts matching experiences into your life. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how people who constantly complain about being broke somehow always find new ways to lose money? That's not coincidence. That's the law of attraction responding to their dominant thought patterns and the spiritual energy they're broadcasting into the universe. Here's where it gets really interesting. Your words don't just affect your own reality. They're constantly influencing the quantum field around you. Every time you speak negatively about yourself, you're sending out energetic ripples that actually program the people and situations around you to treat you exactly as you've described yourself. I've seen this play out countless times in my own life and in the lives of others on their path to prosperity and abundance. When someone walks into a room constantly affirming "I'm confident, I'm valuable, I'm here to contribute," the entire atmosphere shifts to accommodate that energy. But when someone enters with the internal mantra of "I hope they don't notice I don't belong here," guess what happens? The universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrates circumstances to match that exact vibration. This is why Neville Goddard emphasized so strongly that we must become conscious of our internal conversations, because they're literally the blueprint for our external experiences. The most profound realization about this whole process is understanding that you've been unconsciously creating your reality through your internal dialogue your entire life. Every financial struggle, every relationship challenge, every missed opportunity, they all started as thoughts that became words that became beliefs that became your lived experience. But here's the beautiful part: once you become aware of this process, you can flip the script entirely. Instead of saying "I can't afford this," you can retrain your mind to ask "How can I afford this?" Instead of "I'm not smart enough," you can shift to "I'm learning and growing every day." This isn't just about changing your vocabulary, it's about consciously participating in the co-creation of your reality. When you begin to speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you deeply love and respect, your entire energetic signature changes. Your spiritual journey transforms from one of struggle and resistance to one of flow and abundance. Now, let's get practical about this, because understanding the concept is just the beginning of your evolution. Start by catching yourself in the act of negative self-talk, and I mean really catching yourself, like you're a detective investigating your own thoughts. Write down the most common negative phrases you use about yourself throughout the day. Are you constantly saying "I'm so stupid," "I'm always late," or "I never have enough money"? Once you identify these patterns, you can begin the process of consciously replacing them with their positive counterparts. Instead of "I'm so stupid," try "I'm learning something new." Instead of "I'm always late," shift to "I'm exactly where I need to be." This practice alone will begin to shift your vibrational frequency and open up new possibilities in your life. The key is consistency. Your subconscious mind needs repetition to accept these new programs, just like learning any new skill. The ripple effects of mastering your internal dialogue extend far beyond just feeling better about yourself. When you consistently speak to yourself with love, respect, and possibility, you begin to radiate a different kind of energy that people can feel from across the room. Your confidence becomes authentic because it's rooted in genuine self-appreciation rather than ego or bravado. Your creativity flourishes because you're not constantly shutting down ideas with internal criticism. Your relationships improve because you're not projecting your self-doubt onto others. And perhaps most importantly, your connection to your higher self strengthens because you're finally speaking the same language of love and possibility that your soul has been trying to communicate all along. This is where the real magic happens. When your thoughts, words, and actions align with your divine nature, you become a conscious co-creator of your reality rather than an unconscious victim of your circumstances. But there's something even more subtle at play here that most people completely miss. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt like something was off, even though you couldn't put your finger on what it was? That uncomfortable sensation you get when entering certain spaces isn't just your imagination, it's your spiritual energy responding to the vibrational frequencies that have been absorbed into the very walls and atmosphere of that environment. Every argument that's ever taken place in that room, every moment of stress, every tear shed in frustration, all of that emotional energy doesn't just disappear into thin air. It lingers, creating what researchers in quantum physics call energetic imprints that can affect your consciousness expansion and overall well-being for hours or even days after exposure. Your higher self is constantly scanning these invisible energy signatures, trying to protect you from frequencies that don't align with your spiritual journey toward abundance and prosperity. This is why some places feel like sanctuaries while others feel like energy vampires, literally draining your life force the moment you step through the door. Understanding this phenomenon is crucial for anyone serious about their evolution and maintaining high vibrational states. Think about the last time you visited a hospital, a courthouse, or even walked through a neighborhood where you felt an inexplicable heaviness in your chest. These environments are saturated with years, sometimes decades, of intense emotional experiences, fear, anger, sadness, desperation, and all of that energy becomes part of the vibrational blueprint of the space. It's like invisible layers of emotional residue coating everything, creating a frequency that your sensitive energy system picks up on immediately. I remember walking into an old apartment I was considering renting in downtown Chicago, and within minutes, I felt this overwhelming sense of loneliness and despair that wasn't mine. Later, I learned that the previous tenant had gone through a bitter divorce and had spent months in deep depression in that very space. The universe had preserved that energetic signature, and my consciousness was responding to it before my logical mind even knew what was happening. This is why ancient spiritual traditions have always emphasized the importance of blessing and cleansing spaces. They understood that environments hold energy just like objects hold memories. The people you surround yourself with are essentially walking energy fields that either elevate or contaminate your vibrational frequency. When you spend time with someone who's constantly complaining, gossiping, or radiating fear and scarcity, you're literally absorbing their energetic patterns through a process that spiritual teachers call entrainment. It's the same phenomenon that happens when you place two pendulum clocks in the same room. Eventually, they'll sync up to the same rhythm. Your consciousness naturally wants to match the dominant frequency in your environment, which is why spending time with negative people can leave you feeling drained, confused, or inexplicably sad long after you've left their presence. Neville Goddard taught that we become what we behold, and this extends far beyond just our thoughts. It includes the energetic environments we choose to inhabit. If you're serious about your spiritual journey and creating abundance in your life, you must become ruthlessly selective about the energy you allow into your personal space. This isn't about being judgmental, it's about being protective of your divine spark and the precious energy you need for your own evolution. Here's something most people don't realize: your home is constantly recording and amplifying whatever energy you bring into it. Every fight you have with your partner, every moment of stress about money, every tear shed over disappointments, all of that emotional energy gets absorbed into the furniture, the walls, even the air itself. It's like living inside a giant emotional recording device that plays back whatever frequencies you've been feeding it. This is why some homes feel warm and welcoming while others feel cold and oppressive, regardless of how they're decorated. The difference isn't in the physical furnishings, it's in the energetic atmosphere that's been created over time through the consistent emotional states of the people living there. If you want to accelerate your spiritual growth and manifest prosperity in your life, you must take responsibility for the energetic quality of your living space. This means being conscious of the conversations you have, the emotions you express, and the overall vibration you're contributing to your environment. Your home should be a sanctuary that supports your highest self, not a prison that reinforces your limiting beliefs and negative patterns. The workplace is another energetic battleground that can either fuel your consciousness expansion or completely sabotage your spiritual progress. I've witnessed countless people who meditate every morning, practice gratitude, and work on their personal development, only to have their positive energy completely decimated by spending 8 hours in a toxic work environment. The constant stress, office politics, and general atmosphere of competition and fear can undo weeks of spiritual work in a single day. But here's the thing, you have more control over this than you think. You can create energetic boundaries by consciously choosing not to participate in gossip, by blessing your workspace each morning, and by maintaining your own high vibration regardless of what's happening around you. Some of the most spiritually evolved people I know learned to thrive in challenging environments by becoming energetic alchemists. They transformed negative energy into positive outcomes through their unwavering commitment to maintaining their spiritual center. The key is understanding that you're not a victim of your environment, you're a conscious creator who can influence the energetic quality of any space you enter. The most liberating realization about toxic environments is that they're actually serving your spiritual evolution by showing you exactly what you don't want to create in your own life. Every negative space you encounter is like a mirror reflecting back the areas where you still need to strengthen your energetic boundaries and deepen your connection to your higher self. When you can walk into a room full of negativity and maintain your center, when you can be around complainers without joining the chorus, when you can feel the heaviness of a space without absorbing it, that's when you know you're truly mastering the art of co-creation. These challenging environments become your training ground for developing spiritual resilience and learning to be an energetic influence rather than someone who's easily influenced. The universe is always providing you with opportunities to practice maintaining your vibration in the face of lower frequencies, and each time you succeed, you're building the spiritual muscle you'll need for the next level of your journey. But there's another layer to this energy game that goes even deeper than the spaces and people around you. Most people think of food as just fuel for their physical body, but what they don't realize is that every single thing you put into your mouth carries its own unique energetic signature that directly impacts your spiritual vibration and consciousness expansion. When you eat an apple that grew naturally in rich soil under the sun, you're not just consuming vitamins and minerals, you're absorbing the life force energy, the divine spark that allowed that fruit to manifest from seed to nourishment. Compare that to a processed food item that's been chemically altered, stripped of its natural essence, and packed with artificial preservatives, and you'll understand why your energy feels so different after eating each one. The universe operates on frequencies, and everything in creation vibrates at its own specific rate, including the foods you choose to consume. Your higher self is constantly trying to maintain a high vibrational state that supports your spiritual journey toward abundance and prosperity, but when you consistently feed it low vibration substances, you're essentially asking it to perform miracles with inferior building materials. This is why ancient spiritual traditions have always emphasized the importance of conscious eating. They understood that food is medicine, energy is everything, and what you consume becomes part of your energetic blueprint. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Your body is literally a walking, talking manifestation of every food choice you've made over the past several months. Each cell in your body is constantly dying and being reborn, and the building blocks for those new cells come directly from whatever you've been putting on your plate. When you consistently choose foods that are alive, vibrant, and close to their natural state, you're giving your body the high-quality materials it needs to create cells that vibrate at higher frequencies. But when you regularly consume dead, processed, chemical-laden foods, you're essentially constructing your physical temple out of materials that carry the energy of decay and artificial manipulation. This isn't just about physical health, though that's certainly important. It's about understanding that your body is the vehicle for your spiritual evolution, and the quality of that vehicle directly impacts your ability to receive divine guidance and maintain connection with your higher self. The clearer your physical vessel, the more easily you can access the quantum field of infinite possibilities and participate in conscious co-creation with the universe. The energy of how your food was created and prepared affects you just as much as the food itself. Think about the difference between a meal prepared with love by someone who cares about your well-being versus fast food that was mass-produced by machines in a factory where the workers are stressed, underpaid, and rushing to meet quotas. The intentions, emotions, and consciousness that go into food preparation become part of its energetic signature, and your sensitive system picks up on these frequencies whether you're consciously aware of it or not. I've experienced this firsthand. There's a profound difference between eating vegetables from my own garden that I've tended with gratitude and positive intentions, versus eating the same vegetables from a grocery store where they've been handled by countless stressed individuals and transported thousands of miles. The garden vegetables seem to carry a life force that actually enhances my meditation practice and spiritual clarity, while the store-bought versions just don't provide the same energetic nourishment. This is why indigenous cultures have always blessed their food and given thanks to the plants and animals that provided sustenance. They understood that gratitude raises the vibration of whatever it touches, including the food that becomes part of our physical and energetic being. Now let's talk about something that might challenge your current beliefs: the consciousness of the food you eat. Plants and animals are living beings with their own form of awareness, and the conditions under which they lived and died become part of their energetic imprint. When you consume meat from an animal that lived in cramped, stressful conditions and was slaughtered in fear, you're absorbing that trauma energy into your own system. Compare that to eating meat from an animal that lived freely, was treated with respect, and was honored for its sacrifice, and you'll understand why many people report feeling more peaceful and spiritually connected when they make conscious choices about their protein sources. The same principle applies to plants. Vegetables grown in depleted soil with pesticides and chemicals carry a different energetic signature than those grown in rich, living soil with natural methods. This doesn't mean you have to become vegetarian or vegan to evolve spiritually, but it does mean becoming conscious of the energy you're inviting into your body and making choices that align with your highest spiritual goals. Your body is a temple, and like any sacred space, what you bring into it matters for maintaining its sanctity and vibrational purity. The beverages you consume carry energy signatures that can either support or sabotage your spiritual practice. Water, being the most receptive substance on Earth, holds memory and vibration like nothing else, which is why Dr. Masaru Emoto's research was so groundbreaking. When you drink water that's been blessed, charged with positive intentions, or naturally sourced from clean springs, you're literally hydrating your cells with high-frequency energy that supports your consciousness expansion. But when you regularly consume beverages loaded with artificial chemicals, excessive caffeine, or alcohol, you're introducing substances that lower your vibration and make it harder to maintain connection with your higher self. I've noticed that during periods when I'm particularly focused on my spiritual development, even 1 cup of coffee can feel too jarring for my system, while pure spring water seems to enhance my meditation practice and intuitive abilities. The key is paying attention to how different beverages affect your energy, your sleep, your mood, and your ability to access higher states of consciousness. Your body is constantly giving you feedback about what supports your spiritual journey and what hinders it. You just need to listen. Here's a practical approach to transforming your relationship with food and beverages. Start treating every meal as a sacred ritual rather than just a biological necessity. Before you eat, take a moment to express gratitude for the nourishment you're about to receive, and set an intention for how you want this food to serve your highest good. Bless your food with positive energy, and eat mindfully, paying attention to how each bite affects your energy and mood. Choose foods that are as close to their natural state as possible: fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, clean proteins, and pure water. If you're going to consume something processed, do it consciously and in moderation, rather than mindlessly reaching for convenience foods that don't serve your spiritual evolution. Pay attention to how different foods affect your ability to meditate, your sleep quality, your emotional stability, and your overall sense of well-being. Your body is incredibly intelligent and will guide you toward choices that support your prosperity and abundance once you start listening to its wisdom. The goal isn't perfection, it's consciousness, And every conscious choice you make raises your vibration and brings you closer to alignment with your divine nature. The ultimate realization about food and consciousness is that everything you consume becomes part of your energetic signature, influencing not just your physical health but your ability to manifest your desires and connect with the quantum field of infinite possibilities. When you consistently choose high-vibration foods and beverages, you're creating a clear channel for receiving divine guidance and maintaining the energy needed for conscious co-creation with the universe. Your digestive system becomes a temple of transformation, where physical nourishment is converted into spiritual fuel for your journey toward abundance and prosperity. This is why periods of fasting or cleansing can be so powerful for spiritual breakthrough. They give your body a chance to release stored toxins and reset its energetic patterns, creating space for higher frequencies to emerge. But the real magic happens when you maintain this consciousness consistently, making every meal an opportunity to honor your body as the sacred vessel it is and to demonstrate your commitment to your spiritual evolution through the choices you make. The path to mastery isn't just about what you think or say, it's about integrating spiritual principles into every aspect of your life, including the most basic acts of nourishment and self-care. So here's the real question, and I want you to answer this honestly in the comments below. How many years are you willing to keep living with that heavy, drained energy? How much longer will you accept feeling disconnected from your higher self, watching your manifestations move at a snail's pace, while your divine spark dims a little more each day? Because here's what I know for sure, the universe isn't going to wait for you to get your energy right. Your spiritual evolution isn't on pause while you figure this out. You now have the knowledge that most people will never discover. You understand how your words are literally restructuring your reality through quantum physics principles. You know how toxic environments are poisoning your vibration, and you've learned how the food you consume is either elevating your consciousness or dragging it down. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. And let me tell you something, your soul didn't incarnate in this lifetime to be entertained. You came here to evolve, to expand, to co-create with the universe in ways that most people can't even imagine. Look, I get it. Change is uncomfortable. It's easier to keep drinking unconscious water, to stay in those energy-draining environments, to continue feeding your body foods that lower your frequency. But what's the cost of staying comfortable? What's the price of playing small? Every day you delay implementing these shifts is another day your energy stays stuck, another day your manifestations remain slow, another day you're not fully connected to your spiritual power. I challenge you right now, pick one thing from what we've discussed today. Maybe it's blessing your water with intention before you drink it. Maybe it's finally having that conversation about cleansing your living space. Maybe it's switching out one processed food for something that actually nourishes your soul. Don't try to change everything at once. But don't you dare walk away from this video without taking action on something. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. And here's what I want to know, which one of these 3 energy disruptors resonated most with you? Was it the power of words and how they're shaping your reality? Was it realizing how toxic environments have been draining your spiritual energy? Or was it the connection between food and consciousness that opened your eyes? Drop a comment and let me know. I read every single one, and your insights might just help someone else who's struggling with the same energy blocks. But here's the thing, this is just the beginning. If you're serious about your spiritual evolution, if you want to master the art of high vibrational living, if you're ready to unlock the full potential of your consciousness expansion journey, then you need to stay connected to this community. We're diving deep into advanced manifestation techniques, exploring the hidden spiritual laws that govern abundance, and uncovering the secrets that keep most people stuck in low energy patterns. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on those notifications, because the next video is going to blow your mind. We're going to explore the one spiritual practice that 99% of people get completely wrong, and it's probably costing them years of spiritual growth. Don't let that be you. Your higher self is calling, your divine spark is ready to ignite, and the universe is waiting for you to step into your full power. The question isn't whether you can transform your energy, the question is whether you will. The choice is yours. Make it count.